it up. Pack it in. Let us begin. Coming to you live tonight from the beautiful Bill Austin Radio Studio, downtown Phoenix, Arizona. It's the site for the biggest radio show in the history of radio shows. It's the 3 for 60 crew right here on the bottom of the sixth. It's Traver Cox, Sebastian Friar, AJ Goncalves. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing on this wonderful Wednesday?
Having a good Wednesday. About to get into the thick of March Madness tomorrow morning. I'm absolutely stoked. This is the best time of the year for sports to me.
9 a.m. is the beginning of March Madness tomorrow. Great to be out here in the West Coast. Wake up nice and early, March Madness throughout all of the classes we possibly might have. It is just a perfect time, honestly. Let's just get right into it. It's awesome.
All right, let's do it. Opening takes. You guys want to go first here as I get my laptop fired up and ready to go? Up to you guys.
Traver, let us fly with something, man. Whatever is on your mind. I know sports are a little dead, but...
Bring it out, man. Let's go.
All right, I guess we can talk March Madness. It's a hot button topic. UNC absolutely smashed San Diego State last night. R.J. Davis hit, 5 or 6 threes. They're looking hot, man. I mean, their first-round matchup doesn't, really look outstandingly hard to me. And the region they're in doesn't look outstandingly hard to me. Look out for UNC. I think they can make an Elite Eight, even a Final Four run.
That's a take right there. Holy smokes. Wow.
Well, UNC obviously are built for the tournament always. It just seems like every time they get in there, something ends up happening with UNC. The big thing that's hurt them all year long is they just don't have a big man. But it's March Madness. You just got to get hot. If R.J. Davis wants to go out and average 30 points a game, then UNC has a chance to beat absolutely anybody in the tournament. So, hey, I like that take. We've seen a
playing team go to Final Four before.
Absolutely. We saw it with UCLA a couple years ago. And obviously, I don't think Ole Miss is the hardest team ever. As you just mentioned, Traver, it should be a wonderful first-round matchup.
It brings a big smile to my face thinking about all those people who were, so anti-UNC, like, just 48 hours ago, and how suddenly they just completely flip into they're going to be a dominant force in the March Madness. I'm not saying that's you, Traver. I'm just saying from some other people that think they have great opinions on March Madness are now on that take. I just find it comical at this point. All right, good stuff. Sebastian, go ahead, man.
I'm going to go ahead and bring up a storyline in the world of soccer. Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid, PSG as well in the Champions League. Those two might face off in the semifinals if Real Madrid are able to beat Arsenal and PSG take care of Aston Villa. A lot of pressure is going to come into Madrid's number 9, Kylian Mbappe. Obviously, freshly off leaving PSG. A lot of pressure is on him to go to Real Madrid. Just keep on the continuity there of winning Champions League after Champions League. But PSG, they might be having their best season in a long, long time without Kylian Mbappe. So imagine how much it's going to hurt Kylian Mbappe's legacy if PSG were to take Real Madrid out and Ousmane Dembele were to lead PSG to a Champions League title instead of Kylian Mbappe.
I don't think it hurts his legacy that much. I mean, he still has a long way to go in his career. I mean, for the short term, it definitely will. I think in the long term, he'll make it up in the long run if that were to somehow happen. I don't really see it happening. I think Real Madrid's going to pass through Arsenal pretty easily. I think you would agree with that if you're already telling me that. PSG, they're good. I was telling people when Liverpool played PSG and people were so scared of Liverpool, I said PSG's the team you got to fear. They got speed. They got all these Portuguese guys who are just pit bulls out there who are just relentless. I mean, Menz is awesome. He's insane. Vitinha, I love him a lot too. And then you got Dembele, who's honestly, I could make the argument for him to win the Ballon d'Or. That's how good he's been this year. He was great in the Euro. Things were going back in the right track. This PSG team's loaded. I agree. I definitely do. Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a take on this. I'll leave the soccer to you guys.
Oh, good, brother. I got a take right up your alley, okay, Traver? Not to do with the Denver Broncos, but the National Football League, because this is a very heavy NFL-centric show. By the way, Seahawks rebuild coming up in about, 5-ish minutes. I want to talk about a certain quarterback. His name is Aaron Rodgers. We could just do an hour show on Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure. But the Vikings are apparently not pursuing the 10-time Pro Bowler. They're going to stick with J.J. McCarthy. And apparently the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers that is, are fine waiting on a decision from Aaron Rodgers, according to some insiders. I have takes on this, okay? Aaron Rodgers should not be able to decide his timeline anymore. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, even then when I was telling people this guy is Brett Favre 2.0, he is probably one of the biggest tool bags in the National Football League, and no one was listening to me. They were, so godly impressed by his MVPs and then his first-round exits that followed like the very same years, and some years he missed the playoffs entirely. Incredible stuff there. Aaron Rodgers, he should not have this jurisdiction to decide his timeline. I think that's ridiculous. If he's going to do that, just go home. Go home. Honestly, I was rooting for him But if he wants to play this game that he's at the beach in this like weird clothing, like ugh. He can't get out of his own way. I have tried for so long. I think he may have a little bit of good football in him. Just a little bit. Not anymore. Nope, I'm done with this Aaron Rodgers thing. If Pittsburgh waits for him, shame on them. What? They're going to wait for Aaron Rodgers?
What else can they do at this point, man?
Sign Russell Wilson.
Rudolph?
Sign Russell Wilson.
Bring Russell Wilson back?
Yeah, I would rather have Russell Wilson right now than Aaron Rodgers. He's going to pull this kind
I
of baloney.
Honestly. The antics from Rodgers.
Enough. And then this report that he wants $33 million a year.
Oh.
No, you don't get to. This is not. You're not an MVP anymore, man. You failed the Jets. You absolutely did.
Veteran minimum.
Yes, this is. If you've listened to me with any consistency, I've said I'm in on Aaron Rodgers, but there's got to be conditions. It's got to be veteran minimum. He's got to want to be there. He's got to sign early. He's got to be a team player. He's got to be in my team's room every day with trainers working out, throwing to my receivers. And it's not going to happen. It's not. So at this point, Aaron, save us all the time. And poor Russell Wilson. He's just out there waiting because the Giants and Steelers both think he's the better option, which I kind of disagree with at this point. They think he's the better option. They're waiting for him, and Aaron Rodgers is just in the way of all of this. Man, it's on his timeline and his terms still.
This guy's trying to make noise.
I'm telling you, there were some candidates earlier for Tool Bag of the Year. I think we're going to have a back-to-back candidate here on 3 for 60. Aaron Rodgers last year, and somehow, some way, Aaron Rodgers this year. He's already ticking me off. And the NFL season is, 6 months away now? And he's already playing fun and games here with NFL teams. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers. I think he's kind of smart to do it. I can see a little logic in him doing it. But no, the Steelers should be ashamed that they're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. No, there's no waiting on Aaron Rodgers. They should give him the deadlines. They should tell him when he needs to make his decision. And it should have been made 2 weeks ago. It should have. Right at free agency frenzy, they were saying, the experts were saying, he's going to make a decision here right now today. And then it just became an extra day, then it became an extra week, and now it's become an extra 2 weeks. Enough. I'm out on Aaron Rodgers at all costs. No more Rodgers for me.
Yeah, I agree. The stuff with him waiting to choose a team like anybody really cares at this point is ridiculous. I'm tired of his antics. I wanted him, 3-4 years ago? Nobody does now. If he's asking for $33 million, man, he can go ask commercial companies for that type of money because he ain't getting in the NFL. So I don't know what his how delusional his agent is or what he's feeding him, but he just needs to sign for the veteran minimum if he really wants a chance to make an impact next year at all.
Look, if there's one guy that's been testing my patience lately, it's Aaron Rodgers. I am absolutely sick of him. I am done with him. He needs to go and retire. I'm with you, AJ. There's just no reason why we should be making Aaron Rodgers a storyline nowadays. He is not a storyline. He is a below-average quarterback. That's exactly how he played for the Jets last year. The Jets stunk. He was one of the most disappointing players in the NFL last season. The Giants will be okay because they can draft Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. They have a good draft pick. The Steelers, though, let's go get DK Metcalf with George Pickens. Oh, wait, we don't have a quarterback. So you want to wait on Aaron Rodgers now? Like, they are just stuck
making my DK take look even better.
They're just stuck in no man's land whatsoever. And you know why Rodgers is doing this? Because he knows the Steelers don't want to go back to Russell Wilson. He knows the Steelers are desperate for a quarterback, so he's hoping the Steelers maybe up the price so he can, fast forward, make that decision a lot quicker because the Steelers rose the price for him and pay him a little bit more money. It is smart on the side of Rodgers. I do think at the end of the day, Rodgers will be a Steeler because the Steelers are an incompetent organization who are desperate for a quarterback right now, and I think Rodgers is the only option they want because they know the fan base is going to hate bringing back Russell Wilson, and they know they're bound for a first-round exit if they do bring back Russell Wilson. They got to try something different, so they're going to try to go after Rodgers. But Rodgers, sick of that storyline. He is not good enough to even be making a whole storyline about him in the NFL offseason. Shame on him. Just hang it up. We are done with you, Rodgers.
100%. So let's just make it clear. So if you guys were the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, you would go to Russell Wilson, correct?
Yes.
I would go for Aaron Rodgers if the price is fair. If he wants the $33 million you're telling me about, no, I would go for Russell Wilson.
Okay, that's just interesting. All right. Let's do this. We got the Seattle Seahawks rebuild. That's the next one here. Again, this is an NFL-heavy show. I'm sure we're going to have plenty more takes. They're going to come in by the bunches here. I want to start it out here. Seattle Seahawks, Jackson Smith and Jigba, key player. They've already made great moves. I feel like we talk about the Seahawks like
a lot,
all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys want to fly through it. It's all good. We talked about them on length on Sunday's show, so we can make this quick. Whatever you guys want it to be, it's up to you. Go ahead, Traver.
I feel like I've hammered home all the main points for the Seahawks that I want to see. I really want to see them beef up the interior of that offensive line come draft day, and I really want to see them really, I would say they need to add a couple more pieces to that secondary if they want to truly compete. I just don't think it's strong enough. They have a couple nice pieces. Devon Witherspoon's a nice nickel. Julian Blackmon was fine at safety last year, but if that's kind of it, then you got a problem. So I like their front seven. I like a lot of the pieces they have on offense this year. I think JSN's posed for a huge year, but they need to figure it out, trade for maybe a corner, draft some, and they need to trade for an interior offensive lineman. They cannot go into next year with the same interior they had last year.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Seahawks all offseason long ever since they basically signed Sam Darnold. So, obviously, the interior offensive line, like you mentioned, Trevor, I think that is need number one because you got to be able to protect Sam Darnold in order for Sam Darnold to have success. You have to get the running game going with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. So, the offensive line, specifically the interior, priority for the Seattle Seahawks this offseason, well, especially entering the draft because basically free agency is basically done. Really not a lot of great players or great names out there left, especially on the offensive line. So in the draft, address the interior. I hope they don't wait late because they need to address that quickly because they need to be able to run the football and they need to be able to protect Sam Darnold. Defensively, I like what Mike McDonald's doing. I think he's kind of adding his own touch to the defense. Every single day he's making that identity of the Seahawks be more of Mike McDonald. I trust the Seahawks in terms of the defensive side of the ball. They're going to be able to draft a lot of good guys. I like Mike McDonald's eye. Let's remember, Mike McDonald not too long ago used to be the defensive coordinator for the Michigan Wolverines, so he's still very familiar with a lot of the college faces that are out there. He probably has a couple guys, diamonds in the rough that he might want to go out and pick in day 3 even. So I trust the Seahawks. I'm looking out for them a lot, especially that defensive unit is going to be one of the defensive units that I think is going to be the most underrated entering the next NFL season.
I've spoken at the Seahawks with length here. I love the pass rush moves. Their pass rush was scary last year. You had D-Law into it. I think it helps them a lot.
100%.
The one thing I would say is the running backs have to stay healthy. I mean, Kenneth Walker, what's it going to be, man? We're going to stay healthy this year. That's the number one goal.
I think he's a top 10 back when he's healthy.
When he's healthy. Yeah, I think that's a fair take.
That's a good line.
I would have to think about it, but yeah, I think it's a fair take. He's right around that range at least.
Caliber.
Yeah, right around that range. Absolutely. I think they need to go back and reevaluate that secondary. I think they need some corners and maybe another safety or two. Again, that was a weakness last year. When you see Matthew Stafford throwing bombs to guys like DeMarcus Robinson in overtime, no. They need corners. Bad. They need at least one more. I need one more, and I would feel in a very good spot.
They need someone who can truly play the outside.
Yeah, Reek Woolen went very much downhill after his rookie year. He was an awesome rookie, especially he was a 4th-round draft pick. It was awesome for Reek Woolen early on. So it was really disappointing to see Reek Woolen kind of go downhill, especially apparently he has some attitude problems. He's been getting benched in and out of the lineup for the Seahawks. If he bounces back alongside Devon Witherspoon, that is an outstanding cornerback duo, but simply Reek Woolen is so unreliable that I do agree with you, AJ. They definitely do need to address that need.
Yeah, he's running into J.C. Jackson territory. So.
Yeah, he was a 5th-round pick to Reek Woolen. So we'll see. I would just like one more corner there. I didn't really state that before with the Seahawks. I think their wide receiver room is pretty set. Maybe another tight end, and we're looking good. I like Sam Darnold better than Geno Smith. So
I'd like them to draft wide receiver day 3. Maybe sign UDFA, get another person in that room to compete with Jake Bobo for wide receiver 3. Because let's be honest, man, that's
all good with me.
Yeah,
sounds good. All right, that's the Seattle Seahawks rebuild.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna nip. It's all good. They see what's great with these rebuilds now is we're past free agency, so you can really start the nitpick.
Yeah.
So exciting stuff. Anything else today that is really just catching your headlines at all? There's a little debate that I'm sure I'm going to stir it up. NBA MVP. I'd love to do that today. I think everyone here has maybe a different perception and a different take on it, which would make for great radio. So with that being said, give me your NBA MVP at this point. Tell me why and why. If you think SGA is better, give me why SGA is better than Jokic. And if you give me Jokic, give me why Jokic is better than SGA for this award.
All right, you can call me a homer all you want, but I think Jokic is the MVP. You can call me biased. He leads him in every major statistical category aside from points. He's having one of the best statistical seasons ever, shooting the 3-ball the most efficient clip in his career. All this while leading the Nuggets to the 2 or 3 seed in the West, it's looking like. So, I mean, Shea's team has won more games. Yeah, they comfortably have the 1 seed. But I think that's definitely a reflection of obviously a reflection of Shea. I'm not trying to down credit his play. He's an awesome player. But I think he definitely has a better supporting cast than Jokic. I don't really think that's up for debate. So
All right, so a couple weeks ago, people were telling me the Thunder don't have a true number 2 option, which is why they'll go out in the Western Conference playoffs. Now everybody wants to tell me the Thunder are a way better team. So we're talking about MVP Most Valuable Player, SGA, leading the Thunder. They're 12 and a half games up on the Denver Nuggets. Nothing to take away from Jokic. In my opinion, he is the best player in the league right now, and I think most people will agree with that. But when it comes to Most Valuable Player, we're talking about just this season, it's SGA's turn, all right? He deserves it. The Thunder are by far the best team in the West. He's dropping basically 35 points a night. I mean, he is just going off every single night, and the Thunder need him. They really do need him. At times, he puts that team on his back. Obviously, they're very well-rounded, and they are a better roster than the Nuggets. I'm not here to argue that. You know, SGA does have more help, but let's not act like SGA is surrounded by a bunch of all-stars, and, you know, it's SGA one night and then
just
this
a
other
very
guy another night.
well-crafted team.
The thing is, it's SGA every night for the best team in the West.
I'm not denying that he's a great player. He's the number 1. He's the top 5 player in the league. Top 3, probably, if you were to ask me to rank him today. But I just think Jokic has been better this year. Statistically, it hasn't really been that close.
I think when SGA plays at his best, the Thunder simply don't lose. We saw Jokic the other night play at his best, and supposedly most valuable player. It's not just about dropping stats, but the most valuable player, you have to spread it out to your teammates, and that translates to wins. You can't be out here losing to the Washington Wizards
all right,
on
dude,
random night. I'm sorry, but he put up the great stats you've been talking about all the time,
okay,
and they
I'm
lost.
sorry. We're just not going to do this about a regular season game, bro. We lost. Cool. Alex Carr at 35, bro.
We're
cool.
talking about
lost,
regular
dude.
season, which is an MVP award. MVP's about regular season.
But
It's
I don't know
simply
why we're
SGA
talking about
Thunder.
one game when it's an 82-game sample size.
I'm just telling you,
bro.
SGA's not
I don't know why we're
losing.
talking about this random
SGA's not losing to
Washington
the
Wizards
Wizards.
game on a Monday night, bro, when there's an 82-game
That's
sample
what
size.
separates SGA from Jokic, and the Thunder are 12 and a half games up on them, and SGA's balling out
The
every
Nuggets
single
have
night.
lost 3 or 4 games to teams under 500 all year, man. I'm not gonna hear it.
Well, they just did it to the Wizards. SGA doesn't do it, and
Once,
that's why
I don't
he's
care
more
if it's down the
consistent.
stretch. You have to look at the body of work. I don't care about narratives.
Consistency.
You have to look at the body of work. Jokic is more consistent. He's more efficient. He puts up better stats. I don't care about the team stats, bro.
Team stats definitely have to do with a team being 12 and a half games up. Most valuable player spreads it out to the whole team, especially when a couple weeks ago people were literally telling me the Thunder may go out because they don't have a true number 2 option. He doesn't have Kevin Durant next to him. He doesn't have all these players. They have a great, solid team around him, but SGA is the main guy there. And
Jamal Murray would be the
putting that team on his
4th
back.
plus player on the Thunder. Let's be clear.
By the way, Chet Holmgren's been out most of the year as well. So, I mean, I just don't get how people want to say SGA is not the MVP. SGA, yeah, Jokic is the best player in the NBA. I'm not here to argue that once again, but it's SGA's turn. Love the
I
Jokic
don't understand
hype.
this whole
It
term
is.
thing. You look at the stat sheets, you look at player A, player B, and if you take Jokic's stats player A and Shea's player B, you're picking player A 10 times out of 10.
When you put
10 times out of 10.
put everything together, I'm taking SGA this year with the Thunder.
You
I'm
put
doing
team
it.
record, you put rebounds, assists. There's never been a
All
player
right.
to finish in the top 3 in
Let's
all
not,
major
first of
statistical
all,
categories.
let's not compare guards' rebounds to a center's rebounds,
Okay.
all right? Let's not
Okay.
do that. That's just ridiculous,
Okay,
first
that's
of all.
fair.
So, yeah. But SGA, I'm sorry, the Thunder are the best team in the league, and he's the best player on the best team in the league. And it's not even close. This team is centered around him. It's like I said, it's not like one night it's, Dort and the other night Shed, and then the next night it's just SGA. SGA shows up every single night for that team, and they're by far the best team in the West. I just don't see. I love Jokic, best player in the league, and yeah, the Thunder are a better team, but I just don't get how every year, let's just give it to Jokic. Yeah, Jokic is great. He's gonna put up MVP numbers every year, but it's SGA. SGA
I don't get that. It sounds like you're just tired of him getting it, man. I mean, I don't get the every year let's get it to Jokic. You're saying it's SGA's turn. I don't get this turn things, man. We look at the stats, we evaluate the individual year's body of work, and Jokic's has been far better this year. I don't even think it's up for debate.
He's got about 4 more points per game than Jokic does.
I don't care, dude.
What do you mean you don't care?
Jokic has 4 more assists per game, and he's a center, bro. And he has. I know you're not talking about rebounds, but he has like 7 more rebounds a game, dude. That matters.
It is a center.
He also he's top 10 in the league in steals too, bro. As a
SGA
center.
does everything, and by far in a way better team. He's leading them out there, playing every night, more consistent every single night. Trevor. I'm sorry, I know you love Jokic, and
I just don't understand why team wins all of a sudden matters for MVP.
They always do, because an MVP makes everyone else around them better, and that's exactly what SGA is doing with the Thunder. They're by far the best team. If the Nuggets were like about 4 games back, I would be okay. Let's give Jokic a chance. But they are by far better than the Denver Nuggets. I mean, I'm sorry, but SGA is just so consistent. I just don't get how, let's just keep giving it to Jokic. SGA deserves it this year. He really does. And I think it's head-to-head.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I just think Jokic deserves it more.
I think they're going head-to-head right now, and right now what's outbalancing is the Thunder are way better than the Nuggets because SGA is being consistent every single night. So is Jokic, but sometimes it doesn't translate to the wins around the team, and I think an MVP is what really puts a team on his back and sometimes carries them to wins.
Look, Trevor, I see where you're coming from. Okay, listen, no one here is debating that Jokic isn't the best player in the world. If you're debating,
and I just don't get the discrepancy. Why are we not giving the best player in the world MVP?
Trevor,
Why?
I agree.
I don't get it.
Listen, Trevor.
Let's get Mahomes the MVP every year in the NFL then.
Well, no, he
It's
wouldn't have won
different
last
because
year,
look at he's putting up one of the best statistical seasons ever.
Yeah, you want Trevor. I see where you're coming from.
This
man.
is like
You
if the
want
Chiefs win 10-7 and Mahomes threw for 6,050, bro.
You wouldn't get the MVP because somebody probably went 13-4. Let's be real.
You want the MVP criteria changed, Trevor. This is what you want. You want the criteria
I think it's
changed.
ridiculous that it's just the number 1 seed, bro. Like I don't think that should are we having Donovan Mitchell in MVP talks?
Well, SGA is being so consistent every single night, playing almost
I'm not
night
denying
and dropping
that.
literally 33 a game. Like,
I'm
it's
not
just
denying
ridiculous.
that, but I just don't get it. Like I don't get why team success is the main argument over Jokic.
No,
It's
here's the
only
main
argument.
here's the main argument for Alexander. Okay, if it's me, I'd probably it's close. Okay, but listen, I'll just give you the argument for both sides. Alexander, the real reason why you would say Alexander is the MVP is the stretch. Hold on. Let me ask you guys this: who's the Thunder's second best player outside Alexander?
Chet.
I would say Chet Holmgren.
Okay,
Yes,
how long
that
was Chet Holmgren out for?
Quite a bit.
Like 2
Okay.
or 3 months.
What did Shea do in those 2 months without his second best
Drop
player?
about 35 points a game.
That's why he's going to win MVP. I'm not. Again, it's a narrative award. But that's why that narrative's good.
I just don't understand why we're letting narratives decide MVPs.
I
If you look at both of these players on paper, you're taking Jokic's stats every single time. I just don't even get why it's a debate. I get the narratives. I get that he's won it 3 out of the last 4 years. I get everyone's sick of it, but it just feels dumb to me that we're not giving the best player in the world who's having one of the best statistical seasons ever the MVP. It just feels dumb and wrong. And we're going to look back on this in 10, 15 years and be like, why didn't he win the MVP?
I agree.
A 30-point triple-double.
I agree with you, Trevor.
I mean, say that out loud. He's averaging a 30-point triple-double.
SGA is dropping about 35 points a game.
I
every
don't
single
care.
night with consistency.
A 30
12
point-
and a half games up on the
He
Nuggets,
is
Trevor.
averaging a triple-double. Averaging.
He sure is. About 12 and a half. Looking up. Like, Shea is way up in the sky. Jokic is touching grass right now, all right?
All right.
The Thunder are the best team. SGA is the best player for the best team in the West, and it's not even close, by the way, and it's just being consistent without his best sidekick all year long. I know you love Jokic. He's done great things all year, but there's just no reason why not to give SGA the MVP this year.
There
None.
is a reason.
Absolutely
I think
none.
what the
There is a
NBA,
reason.
I think what the NBA should do is just come out with the best player in the NBA award. Why don't we just do that and we can just give it to Jokic? Because I think Jokic would win it just about every
Well,
year.
MVP is
See, but
basically
this
the
just
best
feels
player
dumb to
of the
me.
season.
It's
Best player.
all those,
MVP
all
is
those
not anymore.
MVPs that they just gave to other people instead of LeBron. We're looking back on that
Yeah,
and saying,
we're
man,
saying,
LeBron
what?
probably deserved that.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends because
I mean,
LeBron
yeah, it
always
depends.
turns it up in the
Obviously-
playoffs. I'm sorry,
obviously it's
LeBron
case by
sometimes,
case.
especially with the Cavs and the Heat, so LeBron always just laid it back sometimes, and then playoff time comes and LeBron's like, all right, I'll get going now. So
I mean, I
that's
would
when it
argue
really
more
comes
with
to
the
play.
Lakers. That's what he's
Look, if Jokic wants to go out and win Finals MVP, that's a true MVP that matters.
I mean, he already
that's
has.
really what it is.
I
Exactly.
don't think he has
wants to win
anything
another
left to prove. And the reason.
No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. And once again, like you're thinking I'm trashing on Jokic. I literally called him the best player in the league. There's just no reason why not to give SGA the MVP this year.
I understand where you're coming from. I just think the sole reason he's going to win is voter fatigue. I really don't see any
The
other
narrative.
argument.
It's the narrative.
The
Trevor.
narrative,
Of
the
Holmgren
10
being
more
out.
regular season wins and the voter fatigue is going to be what does
SGA
it.
deserves it.
And
I'm sorry.
Holmgren being
He
out.
deserves
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but Jokic deserves it more. And
See, if I hate on Alexander in this spot, I look like a total fool. I really do because I've hated on Alexander in the past.
I'm not hating on Alexander. I want to make that clear. He's
Yeah.
awesome to watch.
He's got the best
a
motor
fun
in the
watch.
NBA, in my
Anyone that
opinion.
calls him a free throw merchant is dumb and doesn't watch him actually play games. He's just great in the mid range and the floater game. I call him a free throw merchant sometimes around the dorm just because I get mad when he's cooking my team. But I gotta say, if he wins it, I won't be that mad. Jokic will probably have another MVP season next year. So.
Exactly.
All right, cool. Well, that was a good argument, guys. Look, I mean, we could do like closing takes now. I guess we still got 3 minutes to go, but I mean, it's
we
up to you.
Talk a little March Madness. Who do you guys got tomorrow?
We talked so much March Madness yesterday. Let's think about what's actually happening tomorrow. I mean, Trevor, what's your big upset tomorrow? What are you watching for?
All right, the game I got to pull up the schedule real fast here, but I'd say the game that I'm mainly watching tomorrow, honestly, that first one, I think that's going to be a bracket buster for a lot of people. Louisville, very underseeded.
Yes.
Creighton had a bit of a down year, but they're very experienced, have a great coach. They got that 7-footer, Ryan Kalkbrenner. He's a great player, so let's see if Louisville has anyone to match that size, and let's see if
Creighton has anyone to guard that Louisville guard that's been going crazy for them.
I agree with you right there, Traver, honestly. I think Louisville-Creighton is probably one of the wildest first-round matchups I've seen in quite some time. Another game I'm watching is probably Arkansas-Kansas. Comes out at 4:10 p.m. West Coast time. But I think it's two teams that, get called by frauds by everyone, pretty much everyone, but they're two talented teams, two teams that really want to make a deep run in March. Once again, another game that I think is very 50-50 that I think is going to bust a lot of brackets.
100%. And they always started off that way now, it seems like. I think another one to watch, Gonzaga, Georgia. Later that day, 1:35 tomorrow, West Coast time, Pacific Coast time. Want to be clear to any of my people in Colorado, Arizona's now on PST now, not Mountain. So... but yeah, I think the winner of that honestly has a chance to make a run and I think beat Houston. Houston showed a lot of vulnerability in the round of 32 and Sweet 16 in recent years.
I even got one more that's obviously big time debated yesterday on our podcast. By the way, you should go listen to our podcast if you haven't. What are you doing? 3 for 60 on Spotify. UC San Diego and Michigan. That was a big debate yesterday. Will Michigan's big men be able to hold up against San Diego's a little bit smaller team, or will UC San Diego, their ability to create turnovers against one of the teams that really leads the whole country in turnovers in Michigan? How can they match up? I think that's a fascinating game, and
It'll be a fun watch.
According to the betting odds, it's a pretty even game. So I'm really excited to see what happens there.
Man, another one. I know we're going on about March Madness, but Drake, Missouri, 4:35 Pacific time. You got to tune into that one, man. Let's see if Drake can finally get rid of the March Madness woes and make it out of the first round.
I like those takes. All right. I got two, okay? And they're not March Madness related. You just got your saturation for March Madness there, okay? Two things. NHL first, Dallas Stars. They should win the Stanley Cup this year. I don't want to hear any excuses as to why Dallas can't win the Cup this year. They don't have any.
That's why they lost Sunday.
What?
That's why they lost Sunday to the Avalanche.
Yes, I don't want to hear any excuses with this Dallas team this year. Nope, unacceptable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hear it.
Unacceptable. No, there's no excuse.
I agree with you, honestly.
Did they need another score? They have it now, Mikko Rantanen. So I just don't want to hear an excuse as to why Dallas can't win the Stanley Cup. That's my only
They're
thing.
The favorites.
All right.
They should be.
Cool. That was an easy one. I thought someone was going to give me a little pushback and say the Colorado Avalanche were better, but it's all good.
Listen, man, I'm a homer when it comes to some stuff, but some stuff I can just see through the bias and see that that's delusion.
All right. My second thing is, who's the best athlete in sports right now?
Are we talking athlete in terms of success or pure athletic ability?
Both. Marketability.
Say maybe marketability.
Both.
I might say Anthony Edwards. I think he's very
in
marketable.
Sports?
That's crazy.
He's ridiculously athletic. He's so fun to watch. I mean, I think if this guy can make a run this year or next year with the Timberwolves, he would truly be the face of basketball.
Wow.
I think he would. Basketball's been waiting for an American star to come back for a long time with these foreign guys dominating the league the past couple of years.
That's a take right there, man.
If it was based on just pure athletic ability, I would go with my boy Lamar Jackson, obviously. Yeah. But if it's based on the whole success and the whole package, I'm sorry, but I know it's all glazed and stuff, but it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the guy makes the AFC Championship every single year, and he's made the Super Bowl almost every year in his career as well. I mean, the guy's just ridiculous, and he gets it done no matter what it takes, whether he runs for it, whether he makes an outstanding throw, whether he just scrambles all over the field and just finds someone wide open, Travis Kelce or whatever. He just keeps doing it year after year. I'm sorry.
I agree. We got to include him in that conversation, man, regardless of the bad Super Bowl outing. We saw how he bounced back from the last bad Super Bowl outing. So
I'm going to leave LeBron out because that's the obvious answer. I think that's too obvious, but it's still too obvious. It's still too obvious. My two, okay, Shohei Ohtani. I think he's definitely now in that conversation. It's another homer today. People saying his shoulder was going to be wrong, me included, are idiots. The second guy, again, the marketability is just trash, but if the marketing were somewhat good, it's Connor McDavid. He does 100%. Everything. I mean, he carries his team year in, year out. If he wins the cup this year, that would be insane. It's just the marketability. There's just no marketability there. It sucks. I don't know what to tell you. So for that reason, I would probably say it's Shohei Ohtani. But I just wanted to hear some takes. Anthony Edwards, that's wild, man. That's good.
Man, seriously, I think, he's got the confidence. He talks so much trash. I think he could be the face of the league soon.
All good. All right, boys. So here's what's coming up. So Spotify, Friday, we'll do that. I don't even know what we're going to talk about on Friday.
Mock draft coming up soon. I'm not sure if we're going to do it on Friday or next week.
We'll be having a little
draft.
We'll be recording during March Madness Friday.
We're going to figure it out, but we'll get you a video or podcast coming out this weekend. Don't worry. 100%. Mock draft coming up, though.
Yeah, so be sure to check us on our socials now. We are up on YouTube. We are up on X or Twitter. We are up on Instagram. We have new graphics on each of those. Make sure you check us out. Give us a like. Give us a subscription. Give us a follow. The game's changing. 3 for 60's here. Are you ready to change with it? That's the big question. All right. Guys, let's do our sign off. We're a little late here. I feel bad for the next group that's coming in here. We are porking them right now. So
from Traver Cox,
Sebastian Friar,
I'm AJ Goncalves saying so long from the desert. We'll see you next week right here on Blaze Radio.